Queen Ingrid, ready to go to any lengths for revenge against Maleficent, she invited all the creatures from the fairyland to her son's wedding, but her true intention was to kill them all. She traps them in a hall and starts sprinkling a poisonous powder, causing all the creatures to begin dying. Maleficent, flying to the palace to save them, breaks all the weapons and is about to kill Queen Ingrid, but Princess Aurora stops her. Aurora reminds Maleficent that if she kills the queen, humans will see her as evil. Tears fill Maleficent's eyes, and she spares the queen. However, Ingrid takes advantage of the moment and shoots Maleficent with a poisoned arrow, causing her to disintegrate into ashes in midair. Now, everything is in Ingrid's control. What will happen next? Who will come to save the princess? Let's find out in the detailed explanation of the movie. At the beginning of the film, 3 men are seen stealing little creatures from the fairyland. The fairyland's protector, Maleficent, learns of this and captures 2 of them, but one escapes and reaches a secret door at the castle. There, a hand reaches out, takes the stolen creature, and notices a glowing flower stuck to his clothes from the fairyland. The man takes the flower and gives him some coins in return. The next day, the guards inform Princess Aurora about the missing creature, making her very worried. At that moment, she notices a young man who is the same person she met in the first movie, Prince Philip. The 2 like each other, and he is there to propose to her, which she accepts without hesitation. Maleficent's raven, watching all of this, immediately flies back to tell Maleficent what is happening. Prince Philip was overjoyed that Princess Aurora accepted his proposal. He quickly returned to the palace to inform his father, the king, who was also delighted. However, Queen Ingrid didn't seem happy at all, and you'll find out the reason soon. Nonetheless, she agreed for the sake of her son's happiness and invited Maleficent to dinner. Maleficent was upset with Princess Aurora for accepting Prince Philip's proposal. She warned Aurora that humans can't be trusted and reminded her that she had always been her true love. Aurora replied that just because her own father betrayed Maleficent didn't mean every human would. Reluctantly, Maleficent agreed to attend the dinner at Philip's palace for Aurora's happiness. In the next scene, Queen Ingrid is seen heading from her room to a secret area in the castle where iron bullets were being manufactured. The stolen creature from the forest was there, along with the enchanted spindle used to curse Aurora in the first film. Secret weapons were being prepared there to kill the fairyland creatures, particularly Maleficent. Ingrid ordered the small man to quickly make a weapon to kill Maleficent, as they had very little time. A few days later, Maleficent, Aurora, and Joachim arrived at the palace for dinner, where people looked at Maleficent with fear, as if she were a witch. Finally, they all sat at the dinner table. Instead of pleasant conversation, Queen Ingrid started bringing up Maleficent's past, mentioning how she had cursed Aurora and killed her father, as well as many other humans. This angered Maleficent, who responded that people from the Queen's palace had stolen creatures from her fairyland and warned them to return them or she would retaliate. As the situation heated up, the king asked Queen Ingrid to calm down, while Aurora tried to soothe Maleficent. But Ingrid continued, questioning who Aurora's real mother would be after her marriage. This enraged Maleficent, as she saw herself as Aurora's mother. She cast a powerful barrier around herself, and Queen Ingrid pretended to be terrified, hiding behind the king. Suddenly, the king collapsed, and Ingrid screamed that Maleficent had cursed him. Aurora, shaken, asked Maleficent to lift the curse, accusing her of harming people repeatedly. Maleficent denied it, but Aurora refused to believe her. Hurt, Maleficent turned to leave and asked Aurora to come with her, but she refused. Maleficent smashed a window and flew out of the palace. As she soared over the castle, a woman appeared on the rooftop and shot Maleficent with an iron bullet, causing her to fall into the water below. Princess Aurora, wanting to speak to Maleficent and ask her to lift the curse on the king, goes to the fairyland. Upon arriving, she learns that Maleficent has not yet returned. Meanwhile, the woman who shot Maleficent with the iron bullet sees a creature rescuing Maleficent from the water and taking her away. She immediately informs Queen Ingrid. Following the Queen's orders, an announcement is made from the palace that the wedding of Princess Aurora and Prince Philip will take place in 3 days, and all the creatures from the fairyland are invited. Maleficent awakens in a hidden place within a mountain, badly injured. She overhears voices nearby, with creatures talking about attacking humans and taking everything from them. These creatures look just like Maleficent, but lack her powers, which is why they want her to join them to help destroy humanity. The leader, Bora, approaches Maleficent and suggests transferring his powers to her. Angered, Maleficent uses her breath to blow him away. Impressed by Maleficent's powers, he is delighted. At this point, the commander, Conall, arrives and gives Maleficent a tour of their hidden world. He explains that they all have to live in hiding from humans, who have been hunting them for a long time. He leads her to a large stone statue and reveals that she is descended from a rare lineage, making her the last of her kind in the world with such immense power. Soon, she is destined to gain even greater powers, but first, she must make a difficult decision: to forgive Princess Aurora. This infuriates Maleficent, and she responds that she will never forgive Aurora, as she broke her trust and betrayed her. Just then, Bora appears and informs her that Aurora and Prince Philip are about to get married, and it would be the perfect time to attack. Maleficent, however, remains silent, giving no response. Meanwhile, Queen Ingrid's dwarf scientist succeeds in creating a deadly powder capable of killing fairies, which delights Queen Ingrid. The scientist informs her that more powder can be produced if he gets more of those glowing flowers from the fairyland. Queen Ingrid immediately orders her guards to gather all the flowers from the forest. When the guards begin to take the flowers, Maleficent learns of this and rushes to the fairyland to stop them. However, by the time she arrives, they have already taken all the flowers. This enrages Maleficent, and soon after, soldiers begin attacking her with iron bullets. Conall steps in to protect her, but gets injured in the process. Maleficent creates a protective shield around them, while Bora attacks the soldiers, killing them. Maleficent takes Conall to a safe place, but he dies along the way. Back at the palace, wedding preparations are in full swing, and all creatures from the fairyland are arriving. However, when Maleficent's raven tries to enter the palace, the guards prevent it from going inside. Prince Philip presents Aurora with one of the glowing forest flowers, telling her that his mother sent it for her. Aurora recognizes it as a flower from the fairyland and wonders why Queen Ingrid would send it. Curious, she heads to Queen Ingrid's room, where she finds a secret path leading to an area where weapons to kill fairies are being made. There, she also sees two fairy creatures trapped in jars and the enchanted spindle used to curse her in the first film. She begins to have visions, revealing that everything happening is part of Queen Ingrid's plot, and that she was the one who cursed the king. Aurora tries to free the trapped creatures, but the dwarf scientist stops her. Just then, Queen Ingrid arrives and begins telling her story. She explains that years ago, her father's kingdom was near the fairyland. One day, Maleficent's ancestors attacked her kingdom, destroying it. When her brother went to negotiate with them, they killed him as well. After that, she was left alone and eventually married the elderly king, whom she never loved. Queen Ingrid then orders the guards to lock Aurora in a room. All the fairyland creatures are also trapped in a room, where the deadly powder is released, causing the creatures to start dying. Aurora, determined to stop this, tears part of her dress to make a long rope and escapes to the king's room, where she finds Philip sitting by his father's side, unaware of what's happening outside. Meanwhile, Queen Ingrid starts launching powder bombs toward the fairyland. At the same time, Bora and his entire army arrive at the palace to launch an attack. Princess Aurora and the fairy creatures were trying to escape from the room, but they couldn't even move the door. The fairies blocked the powder vents with flowers, stopping the flow of the deadly powder. A woman tried to fix the vents, but fell down and fainted. Prince Philip pleaded with his mother to stop the madness, but she was so consumed by vengeance that she ordered the guards to capture him. Before they could, Philip grabbed onto a piece of fabric and jumped out of the building. Meanwhile, the soldiers captured the raven and Aurora. Just then, Maleficent arrived and transformed her raven into a large bear, which broke down the door, freeing all the creatures. Maleficent destroyed all the weapons while Bora nearly killed the commander, but Prince Philip intervened, declaring that the commander was still their leader. Impressed by Philip's courage, the commander realized that the true evil was Queen Ingrid, not Maleficent. Maleficent reached Ingrid and was about to kill her, but Aurora stopped her, pleading that doing so would make people see her as a dark fairy. Touched by being called Mama, Maleficent's heart softened, and she teared up. At that moment, Ingrid shot a red powdered arrow at Aurora, but Maleficent shielded her, taking the arrow herself. Maleficent's body disintegrated into dust, leaving Aurora heartbroken. However, as Aurora's tears fell onto the dust, Maleficent miraculously regenerated, now even more powerful. Furious, Ingrid tried to push Aurora off the ledge, but Maleficent saved her just in time. By then, Prince Philip and his father the king had both realized Queen Ingrid's treachery. Bora's people captured her and were about to kill her, but Maleficent stopped them, turning Ingrid into a goat instead. Maleficent then declared that humans and fairies could live together peacefully. In the final scene, Prince Philip and Aurora's wedding took place, attended by creatures from both the fairyland and the human kingdom, bringing a joyful end to the film.